Alright, we're going to take a little drive around Tokyo. People seem to like the drives. So, we'll drive around Tokyo and see what happens. Hope you enjoy. Gotta get out of parking first. Having a car in Tokyo or Yokohama or anywhere in Japan, parking is always an issue. Always an issue. Just because there's not a lot of space. So a lot of the parkings are the elevator or the conveyor belt type, and bigger cars like Range Rovers and stuff won't fit on those. So it's always an issue. So this is the backside to Roppongi Hills. Nothing really special here. Roppongi Hills behind us is a big department. I mean, they have hotels, they have restaurants and stuff. It's good food, higher class, I guess. And this is the backside. Roppongi, you have your black and white. The white side, of course, is the richer areas, the backsides, and what you don't see. Those places pretty expensive with high price living. And then you have the main strip of Roppongi, which is the clubs, the strip. That's where you go to party. I mean, if you come to Japan and you hit Roppongi, more than likely you'll run into a celebrity here and there partying at the same place you're at, because that's like where everybody goes to party. So it's not a bad place. It's just you just need to know where to go. What's this guy doing? The streets are not the widest streets, as you can see. So all right, drive around Roppongi real quick, and then I'll head to Shibuya so you guys can see the intersection, the famous intersection. Well, this is Azabu Juban. Nice area, expensive if you want to live here, of course. It's just anywhere around here living is going to be expensive. Tokyo, some parts is double what Yokohama would be. That's why a lot of people live in Yokohama and travel to Tokyo to work. I mean, on a train it's 30 minutes, by car. If you're not in traffic, it's 40 minutes maybe. If you get traffic, then yeah, you're screwed, but you just gotta roll the dice. You can take a train and be here in 30 minutes, and trains are always on time, so there's no issues there. Taxis here are just the worst. They stop anywhere they want, and they'll stop on a dime. I mean, they don't even care. If you're behind them or whatever, they'll just stop. A lot of traffic, a lot of waiting in traffic in Tokyo. That's one thing you have to pretty much always be prepared for. The weekends can be better or worse. Usually during the weekdays, a lot of people take the public transportation, the trains and stuff. So on the weekends, that's when they drive. So sometimes you get a lot of like not very good drivers, and then you're dealing with bare misses and people just not knowing what they're doing. So we're getting out of Azabu Juban right now. Yet again, another taxi just stopped right here. I mean, they have like 3 taxis to every one person in Japan. It's so crazy. A lot of people always ask, what's the downsides? Like I always talk about the positives for the cars, but what's the negatives? What's the cons? For the F-Type, I mean, cons-wise, is of course space. Trunk space is limited. It's a 2-seater, so it's you and one other person. If you have the top down and you're driving away from the sun, of course, it's hard to see the Navi. I mean, that's about it, really. The size and space-wise, I mean, you're not going to fit like 4 golf bags in here. If you're wanting to go golfing, I don't recommend this car. Well, other than that, I mean, it's a fun car to drive. It has a lot of power. Looks good. I like the way the back end looks. It just looks like a powerful car. I mean, that might be a con. A lot of people always looking at you as you drive by. So if you don't like that, then it's probably not the best car for you. I'll try to cut out all this traffic. So all this traffic, you have all this traffic here, all turning right. To the right is the embassies and the American Club, and everything is to the right. To the left up here is my friend's gym, which is a really good gym. If you're in Tokyo, you want to hit the gym. A lot of celebrities go there too, like from out of state. They have a cafe, they have a lounge area, as well as a DJ. So they'll bring in like celebrity DJs, and while you're working out, you can jam out. Highly recommend. It's called the Orange Gym Rats. They're just orange. They call it orange. Then you got now we're on the Roppongi main section. This is the back side. We're gonna go straight, and we'll hit all the like where the clubs are and everything. You got to be careful going around Roppongi. There's cops everywhere. Not just because of the area. It's also because there's a lot of embassies around this area, American and Canadian and what other embassies are around here, I'm not sure, but they're everywhere. A lot of government buildings and stuff. So you have cops on every corner. And as you drive by, they look at you, and if you, for whatever reason, look shady, they'll tell the next cop, your number plate, your license plate, and then, they just keep an eye on you as you're driving around. So now we're getting to the main part of Roppongi. And this is where the clubs will start up. To the left and the right is just clubs and bars and places to party. A lot of these buildings are being torn down. To your right is Don Quixote. Don Quixote is a nice place. It's like a Walmart to us. It has about everything that you'd want or need. And then straight down, these are all clubs to left and right. Bars, drinking places. All you need to party. Right now, because of Corona, everything is, of course, very, very slow. And right in front of us is the Roppongi main intersection. You can see it on the sign up there. Maybe it says Roppongi. And actually behind us, you should have saw Tokyo Tower, but I forgot to tell you. I'll throw that in later. So that was Tokyo Tower behind us. Godzilla did not break it yet. It's still there. So we're just now leaving the main part of Roppongi, coming into the second side, the second part of Roppongi. Of course, there's clubs on this side as well, but it's more concentrated over there. And to the right up here is Midtown. It's like a new shopping area. They have a housing complex, like a condominium place. It's yet again also a little pricey. And that's it. We're out of the Roppongi area. Midtown to our right. We'll go down to Omotesando in a minute. Omotesando is the like Rodeo Drive. It's where all the brands are for shopping. Ralph Lauren, Chanel, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. That's that area. Thank you. But in Japan, when somebody does something nice, you flip the hazards to say thank you. That's a very common thing here. I've got so used to it, if I let somebody in and they don't flip the hazards, it makes me mad. I'm insulted. But if they're really nice, you let it blink a couple times and say thank you very much. I think that's just basic car etiquette. If you're like a car guy, a racer or anything, hazards are like a appreciate it type thing. This apartment to my left, there's a lot of celebrities that live here. I think some of the apartments will go for like $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month. I mean, yeah, they're very big, but I guess if you pay 30 grand a month, it got to be big. But they have 24-hour front desk service, valets, get the cars and stuff. I think that I know maybe 10 to 15 celebrities or athletes live there. Because it's Japan, I mean, unless you move to the country like Chiba or way out like away from the cities, you can't really build a huge house. Yokohama has some areas, but you know, you can't. It's not like the States. So a lot of like celebrities and those kind of people, it's not really about the size of the house. It's about the location of the house or the building that the house is. Like that building that's famous for, to live there, you have to be making a lot of money. And a lot of them do like with cars, because in, like, say that building that we're next to right now, one parking spot is probably about $800 a month, and you have to wait in line because there's only so many spots. So you have to be there for a while to get more spots, to request other spots. So you're paying $800 a car. So if you have 2 or 3 cars, that alone is pretty expensive. And then on top of that, you're paying the rent or whatever to live there. So, and you don't want to drive a cheap car when you're living there, so you have to keep up to that status. So people living there all have luxury cars, 2 or 3 spots, and that's how they show their status here. That's the main way to show you've made it in Japan. The amount of cars you have, the type of car you have, and the area that you live. Because if you have a friend over, they don't see your big house with a swimming pool and stuff. It's just not possible here unless you're out in the country. Nobody's going to drive out there to come 2 hours to work, 3 hours. So they live in places like that. They have 2 parking spots, and that's like, oh my God, wow. And they drive luxury cars like this. So that's Japan High Living 101. It's a little different than Missouri, that's for sure. All right, this is Jingu area. There's a Shake Shack down that street a little bit. There's rugby things over here. There's the other Tokyo team, the Swallows. They have a stadium over here. Swallows is in the bird, the swallow or whatever it's called. Japan, the driving here. The drivers here are extremely offensive, I guess. Like, if I turn my blinker on, 99.9% they're just going to let me in. Like, just the guy right there will just slow down. So when foreigners come over here, the aggressive or the defensive, like my friend Chris, who is a very defensive driver, that's when heads start butting, because they think as soon as they turn the blinker on, you're going to slow down. That's just the way they're taught driving and stuff, to let the next person in, to always, be the good guy. So when he doesn't back off or he doesn't slow down and they come to pull over, it gets close sometimes. I mean, you almost, you're about a coat of paint away from an accident. And they get mad, of course. They're like, why didn't you let me in? They start yelling and stuff. And there's nothing that says I have to let you in. That's a choice. But so if you do drive over here, be ready for that. If they turn the blinker on, they think that you're going to let them in. So be prepared. My advice is just to go ahead and let them in, because they're going to come over without even really looking. It's just like a habit. They just blink, go over. Blink, go over. Pulling out of restaurants or pulling out of driveways, it's just like, as soon as you pull out, they automatically think they're going to stop. There's a Wendy's. If you like Wendy's, they have Wendy's here. They have Taco Bell. They have, of course, McDonald's, Burger King, Shakey's. What is the family restaurant? Denny's. Outback, TGI Fridays. They have everything. Hooters, but Hooters have been closing down a lot. I think they've closed down another Hooters. Corona is just kicking everybody's butt. If they do the Olympics next year, I mean, hopefully, but this is going to be a big issue because of all the tourists coming and all the traffic, and it's going to be worse. I mean, you see the Tokyo traffic today, and it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not like it's rush hour or anything. Also, driving around when you're in Japan, if you see a car with this like a yellow and green kind of weird shape, it looks almost like a heart without like the thing. It's more like a thing. Anyway, that means new driver. When a person gets a license for the first year, they have to put that on their car by law. So it's telling everybody else, one, they're a new driver, so be cautious, be ready. And 2, if you get in an accident with them, pretty much it's your fault because you should have known that they were a new driver. And You're supposed to give them their distance. When I went to the driving school, even though I had my license in the States, I'm a new driver in their eyes. I had to put that on the car. So if I drive like these cars around, or the Range Rovers, which are expensive cars, so they see that mark on there, people will just stay completely away from me. It was so nice. I had like the free road. Nobody wanted to cut me off. Nobody wanted to get in front of me. Nobody wanted to be behind me. If I drive down, they move out of the way. They just didn't want to take a chance of getting hit by a luxury car. In Japan, the cell phone laws here, they've got very, very strict. Like if you get caught touching a phone while you're driving, it don't matter for a second. If you just pick it up, I don't know the exact. I think you can lose like 5-6 points off your license, which you only have like 10 to begin with, and it's almost a $200 fine. It's pretty serious. And then if you lose all your points, then you have to go back to a driving school stuff, pay all this money. All right. This is Omotesando. This is the like Rodeo Drive type area. So this Rodeo Drive, you have Coach. I think we passed Louis Vuitton. You got the Apple Store over here. You'll see some pretty amazing cars around here too. Let's see what else we got around here. I don't know what that. Michael Kors, Ralph Lauren, Max, Burberry. And before I came to Japan, I'd never heard of these brands. I was back in Missouri when I was visiting family, I think a couple of years ago, and I had my Louis Vuitton bag, my little satchel, and where I carry my iPad and everything. And there was at Starbucks waiting in line, and this girl, she's with her, her boyfriend, and I know she was doing it to be sarcastic to her boyfriend, but she was just like, "Oh, I like your Coach bag. Hey, honey, you should get a bag like that too." And he was, of course, like, "I'm not wearing a purse." I know she was kind of just like, "Hey, he's got a purse on," and he was like, "I'm not wearing a purse." But the fact that she called it a Coach bag, I was just like, it just made you look stupid. I was just like, actually, it's not Coach, but, I appreciate it. And she was like, "Oh, it's not? What is it?" I was like, "I don't remember the name, but it's not Coach." These guys here on this right in this green, I don't know if you can see them, they're the parking ticket people. They're just hired by the city to give people tickets. That's their whole job, is to catch you parking on the street. And these parkings on the spot, they're only hour parkings. And I know what you're thinking. You just come out and refeed the meter, and you're good. No. They have sensor plates under them, so you have to move the car once. Now, yeah, you can move out and pull back in or something like that, but if you get caught doing that, you get in trouble. And it's kind of hard when you got these people waiting for parking. As soon as you pull out, somebody's going to try to pull in. So you really got to wait until there's no cars and try to dash out and back in. And I've dealt with some of them that I guess they have a memory sensor plate or something, because no matter how many times I pulled out and pulled back on, I guess I remember the weight of the car, and it wouldn't reset. So you can only use them for an hour. And those guys in the green that we just passed, they just wait. They sit and walk up and down the street, and as soon as they see that little meter thing start blinking red saying that your time's up, they will come up. And you have until they take a picture of the back of your car to get out of the ticket. I mean, if they're writing stuff down and you get out there before they finish taking pictures, you're okay. But once they take a picture, it's done. They $150 parking ticket. And they are quick. I remember I was going to Shake Shack one time, me and a friend, and there's a parking literally 20 yards down the road. But in front of Shake Shack was empty. And I was like, just run in and grab it. I'll wait here for you. So he was like, yeah, okay. So he gets up and he runs in. I got to go to the bathroom. So flip on the hazard lights. I jump out. I run to the bathroom. As I'm walking out, I was like, grab me a shake on the way. And I came out. And I'm talking, this was maybe however long it takes you to get out of a car, run maybe 10 to 15 yards, go into the bathroom. There was nobody waiting to go to the bathroom. I went straight in. Came out. When I got to the car, I had a ticket. So instead of me being smart and pulling 20 yards down the road and paying $3 for 30 minutes parking, I got a $150 ticket just for going to the bathroom. But that's how quick they are. It was 5 minutes. It was maybe 5 minutes, and they already got me a ticket. It's like they would sit there, and I watched them after that. They just waited by these trees on the other side of the street, and then when people pull up like in front of me while he was getting the order, they get out of the car. As soon as they get out, as soon as they knew that they were out of the line of sight, like where they could be seen, they run across the road, and they just started. Two guys. One guy starts writing the information down. The other guy's taking pictures of the car. It was like clockwork, and they were good. Man, they got me. $150 to go to the bathroom. So you can actually walk from here to Shibuya. I mean, it'll be a good little walk, but you don't have to take the trains this, or you can make the walk and see everything. So that's what I would recommend if you're coming over here. Walk from Shibuya to Harajuku, and you can see a lot more. So this is, I forget the name of the street, Jingudori or something like that. There's, of course, more fashion and more shopping and stuff. There's Teddy's Hamburger. It's really good if you like hamburgers. Teddy's a great guy. Used to go in there all the time. The Tendence watch store is on the backside over here. I hope you enjoyed the drive around Tokyo content. We're almost to Shibuya. This is Shibuya area. We're just not at the main intersection. That building in front of me, the Scramble Square, I think the tall building, I believe that's the new building. I think where C'est La Vie is. You can go up at the top there, and they have a restaurant. You can eat out there and look over all of Tokyo. It's pretty cool. Good little picture spot. Parada store. This is new. I haven't been here yet, but it just opened up, I think, last month. It's a new shopping area. It used to be like a bridge over the like the street or the trains and stuff, and it was like kind of like a park. It was really dirty. It's been there forever. A lot of homeless guys stay there. A lot of homeless people serve there. So they redid it and they turned it into a nice little shopping area. I don't know if you can see the videos on the wall. It's like that part of that building is a TV screen. That's pretty cool. I mean, it gives you something to look at. I mean, it's better than just looking at a building. You at least have like video, and then for advertising, of course, you know, companies pay $1 million to have their product advertised there. I mean, it's a good marketing strategy. And here we're almost to Shibuya intersection. To the right is Shibuya intersection. That's the main big intersection you always see on movies and TV shows, and you know, the thousands of people crossing the thing. I think every day they get 20,000, 200,000 people. I don't know what the numbers. You can Google it. But for Halloween, that's what's crazy. They have literally over 1 million people. And I'm not even making that number up like I'm just saying a million. Literally, it's over 1 million people in this intersection on Halloween dressed up. I took Peyton there, my niece, a couple years ago. We didn't stay but 15 minutes because there's just too many people. But just Google it. Just Shibuya Halloween. You just look at the pictures. Over 1 million people in this intersection, and the cops tried to stop it the first couple of years, and they knew they couldn't. So then they just block it off. They like rope it off where you can't drive. But then 2 years ago, these guys got drunk and they flipped over a car, like one of these little trucks. Just flipped it over like a toy. So that caused problems. So last year they made it where you can't drink. You can't buy alcohol around here, and you can't drink. So of course, everybody, law-abiding citizens, they just didn't put the alcohol in like a Coke can or a 7-Up bottle or something, or a tea bottle, and drink anyway. But hey, for each is their own. It's a huge party. It's one of the biggest Halloween parties in the world. It's like Japanese love to just dress up. And it's not just Japanese, of course, all the foreigners here, everybody here. They just love to come and get all dressed up and celebrities. Like another funny thing is like celebrities will come out here and join the parties because they're in a costume. They're wearing like a ninja mask or makeup or something. Nobody recognizes them, and they get to party with everybody like they're not a celebrity. They don't even know that the gorilla next to them is Brad Pitt. So it's pretty fun to watch. from a distance, not going. I went once last year or a couple years ago with my niece, and that was too much as it was. So there's the main intersection in front of us. And that's where everybody walks through. There's a Starbucks on the other side, and I heard, could be wrong now, that this is originally when it came out, I heard that was the highest rental Starbucks in the world, like rent-wise. And they don't sell anything other than large and grandes. You can't get a small, you can't get a medium or anything. The only thing they sell is larges and grandes because they have to make up for the rent price. I mean, this is one of the busiest intersections in the world. I mean, this is like Times Square. And you've got a Starbucks right smack on it. Well, I was hoping to stop at the red light, but to the left and the right, that's where all the people are waiting to cross. And this is the intersection. This is it. You can kind of see all the people. On the weekends, oh, it's just so crazy. Thousands of people. Of course, Corona and stuff, it's a little less than usual, but yeah, that was the intersection. Hope we could have seen the people walking, but my bad. Now we're here. We got a movie theater to the left. We got Krispy Kreme donuts. I think that's the end of our tour. We're driving through Shibuya right now. Once I get through Shibuya, I'll take the cameras off and head back to Yokohama.